Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Gas Guzzler lifts gas and oils from land, vehicles, and tools. Yamaha, conquer outdoors.
We're back here in Brechin, Ontario for the Ontario Lumberjack Championship, the second annual event. This year, a little bit bigger, still a strong field of competitors from Eastern Canada and Northeast United States. Hi, I'm Bill Deba with my co-host, Lumberjack sport analyst Rod Cumberland. And Rod, this week we got the Springboard Chop, the Women's Bow Saw, and the Kris Starr Memorial Axe Throw. Who do you like in that one?
Well, Paul Woodland won it last year, and of course he's back to defend his title. Dave Engach is up from the States. He's always in there at big axe throw events. And hey, wouldn't it be an emotional finish if Cecil Starr get in the mix? Absolutely,
and we're getting things kicked off with the Springboard Chop. That's a great event for the spectators. It's almost anybody's game in this show.
The Quebecers, Don Lambert and JP Mercier, they've been at it for, 30 years? They're still chopping phenomenally. But the guys at the top of the game right now, Marcel Dupuis and Cecil Starr, it's going to be a great race.
Well, this year in Brechin, they've got these new portable orange bleachers here provided by Link Climate Care from Beaverton, Ontario. Last year, the crowd was too big for the amount of bleachers they had, so Jim Link from Beaverton, he decided to do something about it. The crowd's just settling in. We're going to start with the Springboard Chop. In total, we're going to be showing the top 4 heats here. First heat is 3 competitors. We got a New York, we got a Nova Scotia, and we got a Quebecer.
The Nova Scotian Scott Reed traveling all the way from Truro. He's a coach of the Dalhousie campus Woodsman's team there. Good picture of Scott here as he gets ready to take on Don Lambert, the crafty veteran from Quebec. And, of course, Chris Henning, who's affectionately called Sasquatch from New York.
Well, we were talking earlier, Rod, the Springboard Chop here in Brechin, Ontario is 9 inches round up top, which means the time should be pretty quick.
You'd think they'd chop through that pretty quick. Also, the uprights here, I see some of the knots have got some brown around them, which is usually a sign of some rot inside. Hopefully these pockets stay good and solid so they'll hold the boards.
Well, they're on portable stands here as well, because you can see the concrete slab right now. There's a lot of steel apparatus there. There's a lot of sandbags. Once they get up on their first board, it's not really a factor, but it's a little bit of a factor when they're standing on the ground. They got to work their way around all that debris.
Sasquatch gingerly climbing up to his first board hole as Don Lambert cleans out his second. He's ready to climb up and start chopping.
Now you can see Donald's tree there in his second board. If you look at it again, we're going to see a vertical cut there. We're hoping that his board holds out as he's well on his way into this wood.
If that happens, sometimes it can slab out on you, but Don Lambert's got a beautiful pumpkin block up here, and he's wailing into it as Scott Reed just gets ready to open up his block.
Well, they're going to have to turn on the afterburners to catch Donald Lambert. He's 80% of the way through the log. He makes his turn over the backside.
Scott Reed getting into the small wood right now, and Chris Henning just opening up his block, but Donald Lambert, he's going to finish it off in 57.3.
Excellent time for Donald from St. Gilles, Quebec, leading the way in the Springboard Chop. I know you're disappointed, Donald. You maybe don't want to talk to me, but you got a disqualification there. Can you tell me what happened?
Well, I put some nails for slab, but I just misplaced my block at the top, and I cut the place where the nails were not there.
It was a soft piece of wood. Were you expecting it to be so soft?
No, I expected hard, so I hit harder.
Well, a huge disappointment there for Donald Lambert from Quebec, taking a DQ in that. He had an excellent time. So Chris Henning is now the time to beat at 1:16.92. He edged out Scott Reed by 9 seconds in that first heat. We got a couple of veterans here. Gaston taking on Paul. How many times have these guys gone at it over the years?
Gaston Duperret, he was in his prime back when I started, and that was 25 years ago, and he is still swinging an axe. Paul Woodland again, and from New Brunswick, a great competitor. He's what we call Mr. Consistency, but you see both guys taking their ginger time getting up on these boards.
Well, that's one of the toughest things about Springboard Chop is getting up on the boards, and Gaston earlier today had a big fall setting up his springboard. He was walking backwards and fell hard on the concrete slab.
Bad notch there. You see Gaston actually hit a little bit high in his notch. Now he's going to go a lot deeper. This is going to cost him valuable seconds in this event.
Looks like he might be chopping his way right through the springboard pole itself. Paul Woodland's up on his second board. Gaston trying to keep pace with him.
Gaston's playing a bit of catch-up now. You can see him gingerly taking his time getting up on board number 2 as Paul Woodland is wheeling into his block, but you see that this block isn't falling apart as nicely as Don Lambert's did in the first heat.
Well, Gaston's made his way up to the second board. Paul Woodland well on his way to beating Gaston in this heat. He's halfway through, although Gaston's starting to pick up the pace.
Picking up the pace, and look, he has a block very similar to Don Lambert's. It's really soft, it's falling apart as Paul Woodland struggling to get through this block. Gaston may be able to catch him.
Well, time to beat is 1:16.92 set by Chris Henning. It's going to be really close. Gaston's got to get over to his backside. Paul Wood, this is a great race going on here.
And here he is, Gaston. He's getting into the final few strokes to slice it off. He's got one more, and there it is. Gaston Dupré, 1:17.
Just a half a second behind Chris Henning for second place at this stage of the competition. Your first notch was perfect, 4 hits. Tell me about the second notch.
Oh, I don't know. We never know. We never know before. One bad hit, the third hit was bad, and I have to open more to go deeper. And I think the ice was too heavy a little bit for the second plan. For the first, I was on the ground on the cement, really solid, but at the second, the balance was not perfect.
So you were were not able to hit it as hard.
Yes, and not enough accuracy.
Well, Gaston, the twilight of his career, is not practicing quite as much as he did. He edges out Paul Woodland, but Chris Henning is leading the field right now with 1:16.
Here we are at the Ontario Lumberjack Championships, and for the second year in a row, Brechin Timbermart has stepped forward to be a major sponsor. You know, Tyson, just tell me about Timbermart's involvement last year and this year.
Well, this is the second year we've been involved. Last year we donated the material, and we helped out a little bit this year with building a few extra things.
And you know, so just general community involvement, you know, Brechin Timbermart. Brechin in general is a small community. How important is the companies like yours get involved to support events like this?
Well, it's awesome. It's really brought the community all together. We haven't had anything like this in our community in a long time, and it's brought everyone out. There's a lot of familiar faces and a lot of old faces that I haven't seen in a long time, so it's awesome. We love it.
Well, just before the break, we had the first 2 heats of the Springboard Chop, and right now we have Chris Henning from New York leading the way with a 1:16 and change. This next heat, I'll bet you anything, the time is going to fall. We got Coors and Engasser from New York taking on your buddy Marcel Dupuis from New Brunswick.
Marcel Dupuis in the East is cleaning up the Lumberjack League and chopping and sawing. He's really coming on into his own right now. And look at these guys when they start. You see Mike Coors very relaxed and laid back, and Dave Engasser is really focusing on the event. Marcel Dupuis, he's right down to the game face.
Well, probably the guy with the most experience in this heat is Dave Engasser. The guy with the least experience is Marcel Dupuis. Coors is in the middle. All 3 of them excellent axemen. All 3 of them getting their first boards in.
Having a little bit of trouble there. Lots of them taking extra strokes in the Springboard notch. A perfect one should be 4 strokes. One down, one flat, another one down at a 30-degree angle, another one flat. You can see these guys taking a lot of strokes. Marcel Dupuis struggling. He's right in tight to the tree. His first board is sagging.
Engasser is the first guy to get his second board in the notch. He's got to be pretty happy with that one. Marcel spent a little bit extra time there. He's got a bit of a loose chip hanging there.
And he doesn't even clear it out. He puts it in. Sometimes that's a dangerous thing because your springboard can actually slip on it. But Marcel's up. It's a solid board, and he's going to get into it.
Right now, we got all 3 guys on their second board. All 3 guys in the front half of their log. 1:16.92 is the time to beat right now.
They better pick it up, because I'll tell you, Marcel Dupuis, he hits hard, he hits fast, and he is going to make up for lost time here at the top.
A lot of speed coming on by Marcel Dupuis. This is where the cardio kicks in. Engasser's ready to make his turn to the backside. Marcel is on his backside. Big chunk coming off.
But he sticks with it, gets the last bit of it. He finishes in just over a minute, and he takes down Dave Engasser in this heat of the Springboard.
I guess you weren't very happy with that first board. You couldn't get any power. It was leading the wrong way.
Oh yes, very much. It's not a good board at all. And I would have to go right close to the tree to make mine. The second notch, so it affects your second notch also.
I mean, you had a good race going on there with Dave and Mike, and you played a little bit of catch-up. Is it unnerving to see your block fall apart like that? It was a big slab. You had your nails in.
Not really. Like I knew I had my nails in, so if it slabs, it slabs. So it worked out pretty good for me, I think.
Yeah. Thanks, Marcel.
No problem. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jean-Pierre Mercier. I'm living in the Saint-Étienne-de-Lauzon province of Quebec. I'm a saw filer and saw maker for Lumberjack competition.
My name's Cecil Starr. I'm a utility forester. I live in Lake Dalrymple, Ontario, and also glad to be a co-coordinator of this event.
Well, Marcel Dupuis, the fireman from New Brunswick, is now in the lead in the springboard chop with a 101. One of these guys might take him down. Cecil Starr taking on JP Mercier.
Both crafty veterans, and if you were to pick the top 3 springboard cutters in Canada right now, Cecil Starr would be amongst them, and here he is up on his first board already.
Said JP Mercier struggling to get that first board in. He took 3 or 4 jabs at the pole with it. He's got his board in. He's going to have a hard time catching Cecil.
It's obviously not one of his stronger suits, but Cecil Starr, he's got a little bit of a punk in the middle of that tree. He's going to go a bit more to the outside to make sure his springboard stays. He's got a solid board in. He's about to whale into it.
29 seconds, and Cecil's up on his second board end of the wood. JP Mercier trying to keep pace with him right now. I'm not sure he's going to be able to catch Cecil. Right now he's wailing away.
Cecil Starr has a lot of intensity when he swings his axe. He's bearing it almost to the eye every time he swings. He's getting into the small wood now. Cecil Starr doing a great job here.
Making his way over to the backside. Looks like maybe a little bit early. JP Mercier almost loses his balance. Cecil's driving things off from the backside. He's going to win this thing. Cecil Starr wins the springboard chop with a time of 52.98. Your first board, you went on 4, bit of a risk. Then your board started to sag while you were on it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of punk in the center of that tree, and when I was getting the trees after I cut them, like, well, there's a little bit of punk, but it should hold, and if you cut a good hole, it'll still hold. So I got lucky there, and you only got to be there hopefully for 6 hits or maybe less, so worked out.
So a 9 inches round up top. How come you don't do a 1-and-1? You still went a 2-and-2 up top.
I think my mind just kind of trained that way. I don't know. Probably could have, but by the time I thought about it, it was 4 hits later, so.
Thanks, Cecil.
Thanks, Bill.
Well, that's it for the first event here at the Ontario Lumberjack Championships. The springboard chop is now in the books. Cecil Starr, the only guy under a minute.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Insect Defend Patch. Deep-free protection from biting insects.
Welcome back to Brechin, Ontario, and the second annual Ontario Lumberjack Championships. Earlier, before the break, we saw the big burly men swinging the axes in a springboard chop. Changing the gears a little bit here. This is the women in the bow saw, 10 inches round of aspen.
Caitlin Carroll from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, and I'm a recent graduate of Dalhousie Agricultural Campus.
I'm Colin Kors. I'm from Russell, Pennsylvania, and I'm a natural resource specialist for the U.S. Forest Service.
Well, we got a strong field of women competitors here. Total of 8, 4 heats. We're showing you the top 4 heats, 10 inches round of aspen. The time should be good.
We have an international duel happening right now. Canada on the left, United States on the right. Caitlin just graduated from NSAC. You can see her, she's got 4 years of sawing in, but she's bobbing her saw a bit. Colin Kors is actually schooling her here in the bow saw. She's running a nice flat saw.
Nice smooth finish there by Colin Kors. She's going to win this first heat with a time of 15.67. You seem to lower yourself nice and easy with that saw as the saw was going down, keeping everything nice and flat. Is that your strategy?
I try to. I don't want to have too much angle. I don't want to get over the cut too much, but it was still pretty rough, so I've got a few things to work out yet.
Thank you for your time.
Sure, thanks.
Well, I mentioned earlier the times would be good in this women's field of 8. We got Mary Reeder taking on Ann McPherson. I would bet that the times are going to be lowered in this heat and probably the heats to come.
No question. It all comes down to the different blades that they're using. And you don't really think about it at the time, but everybody has their own blade filed by a different person, wherever they are at in the country, whether it's Paul Finnegar in the U.S. or JP Mercier in Canada. So, of course, if you get a new blade that's filed really nicely by one of those guys, you're going to cut a little bit faster in this wood.
Well, you're going to be able to handle the blade as well. And Ann on the left-hand side with the yellow bow is handling it fantastic. And she's going to win this heat. Yes, she wins the heat and lowers the time to beat down to 15.4. And, you know, you told me that you have been competing in lumberjack sports. We haven't seen you on Lumberjack's TV series, but your game is in pretty good shape. Is that correct?
Well, you know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but that felt really good today, so hopefully it'll continue for the rest of the day.
Something like bow saw, and you find yourself a little bit rusty after not doing too much this winter, maybe. What are the kind of things that maybe you have to brush the rust off?
Just getting my foot placement proper and making sure I'm using the whole blade and getting the pressure, that fine point, but otherwise, just go for it.
Thanks, Ann.
Thank you.
My name is Peg Engasser. I'm from Cortland, New York, and I work at Buried Treasures Farm.
Levon Michelacci. I'm from Vanling, Pennsylvania, and I'm a cafeteria worker at the Forest City School District.
Peg taking on Levon. Peg Engasser on the left-hand side from Cortland, New York. A lot of years of experience in lumberjack sports. Both women into the wood real quick.
And Peg is also a real stickler for perfection. You can see her doing everything right here, putting a lot of weight on that blade. She's really mowing through this wood.
Using her strength on the left arm there, and Peg Engasser wins the heat, lowers the time to beat to 12.5. Peg, how many strokes are you into that? You really know how aggressive you can get, because you're pretty aggressive with that bow pressing down. How long does it take to find out how aggressive you can be?
I'd say after the second stroke, you're going to know how your saw is cutting in that piece of wood. So you can either speed up or put more pressure, or ideally a combination of the two and get the most out of it.
So is one of your strengths being able to put a lot of weight on there and put a lot of pressure on your blade?
Not so much as some of the other competitors. I don't tend to have my arm tight to my body with a lot of down pressure. I've been working on that to try and improve it, but I try and keep the speed up.
I'm Tracy Henning from Walworth, New York, and I'm a Zumba instructor.
My name is Nancy Zaleski. I'm from Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and I'm currently employed as a chemist.
Well, the good races just keep on coming. Peg Engasser lowers it to 12-5. These two women are going to try and take her on. Tracy taking on Nancy.
Great bow sawyers, both of these girls, and they put a lot of weight on the bows. And look at Nancy Zalowski mowing through this wood.
A lot of speed on Tracy on the left, but Nancy's using her strength and weight, and Nancy wins the bow saw with a 10-second flat. You don't take long to find out how aggressive you can be and how fast you can be. Like 1 or 2 strokes in there, you were off to the races.
Yeah, it's just kind of feeling out the wood for the first 2 strokes to see what kind of weight I can put on the bow saw, because I'm more of a weight sawyer than a speed sawyer. And then I kind of pick up as much pace as I can.
Now, the official times are not out quite yet, but you feeling pretty good about that?
I am. You know, it's one of my first bow saw cuts of the year because we don't have any, for the most part, in the United States. So I was feeling really good. It felt nice and smooth.
Well, running the bow saw smooth as half the battle, putting power on that blade is a rest, and Nancy showed us how to do it all with a 10-second bow saw cut.
Welcome back to Lumberjacks TV series and the Ontario Lumberjack Championships for the second year in a row in Brechin, Ontario. We have a great crowd on hand, and we are heading into the Kris Starr Memorial Axe Throw, an event named after the late Kris Starr and the brother of Cecil Starr. Earlier in the day, we had all 26 competitors participate in the preliminary round of the Axe Throw. We have whittled it down to the 3 finalists. Right now, we have Chris Henning stepping up first, followed by Donald Lambert, and followed by Cecil Starr. How special would it be for Cecil Starr to win this thing?
Great axe throwers here. Chris Henning, now they're throwing at a target, Bill. This target is quite small compared to most targets that we throw at. And the rings, the concentric rings, are also small, so sometimes competitors have a little bit difficulty honing in on that small bullseye.
Well, Chris Henning is not going to be too happy with his first 2 throws. He's only got a total of 5 points after 2 throws. The best he can do here is a 10 if he gets a bullseye here.
When you're in a final throw-off like this, you want to come at least close to that bullseye to show people why you're there. That's a good throw for Chris Henning. Not sure if it actually cut the 5, but it was actually a good solid throw.
Well, he did get close to that bullseye, but not close enough. He got a 4 in that final throw for a 3-throw total of 9 points. Puts him in the lead with 2 excellent axe throwers still to come. Don Lambert from Quebec is coming up, followed by Cecil Starr.
Cecil Starr bringing up the rear, so sometimes that's good to actually watch what the other competitors throw. Don Lambert, usually a very consistent axe thrower. He's on the top of his game right now. He's actually competing some
Well, he's going to be a little bit disappointed with that rod. He's only got 3 in his first throw. Don Lambert, he's used to 4s and 5s, especially in a big final like this.
You saw him shake his head a little bit. Now remember, Don Lambert actually had a DQ in the springboard chop at the first of the competition. So sometimes that sets the course for your day. It doesn't give you the confidence you need in an event like the axe throw to stay consistent.
Probably a little bit of an early release over his head there, causing him to drift up above the bullseye there. Right now he's got a 2-throw total of 6. Donald's got to be disappointed with that. The max he can get right now is 11.
And that's not characteristic for Don Lambert. He's usually throwing 13s, 14s, and 15s in the axe throw. That one drifts again. You see, he just doesn't have the confidence. He's not very happy about his performance at all, but leaves the door wide open for guess who?
Well, Cecil Starr is the last man standing right now. He's got an 8 and a 9 to beat. He should be able to tackle that, and it would be the first time that Cecil has won the Kris Starr Memorial in the 5 or 6 years that it has been offered, and what a great opportunity. This is also a hometown favorite because Lake Dalrymple is just down the road from Brechin.
And you look back at how he finished in the springboard chop. Cecil Starr actually won it. Look at that. It gives him lots of confidence. And going in the axe throw, throws a bullseye right off the bat his first throw. Things are looking up for Cecil.
There you go. And then her bullseye, he's going to have this one in the bag because all he's got to beat is Chris Henning's 9 points. This is his second throw. He's already got 5 in the bag. And he drifts off a little bit. It looks like probably score a 4 here. That's going to give him a 2-throw total of 9.
He's tied right now for the lead.
All he has to do is hit the target.
Hit the target, and of course that's not too hard to do right now. Cecil's in the groove, and he does it well. Look at that.
There it is. Cecil Starr wins the axe throw with a 3-throw total of 13. Always nice to win an axe throw, but when you win the Kris Starr Memorial axe throw, got to be something special.
Yeah,
I've made the final nearly every time I've entered it. And one time Dave Engaster and I were in a throw off right for first place, and it's a, I don't know, what do you say? You know,
well, it's an emotional thing, right?
Well, for sure. And you know, there's a, and it's playing on every competitor that's going up on that. We call it Axe Throw Island here, and you know, because everybody remembers Kris. And it works out good, and it's a great thing that Dave and them guys have started up, and we'll hope to carry it going here. And it's just obviously an honor to win it.
Well, in memory of Kris Starr, who passed away in 2007, an excellent competitor, his older brother Cecil finally wins the Kris Starr Memorial Axe Throw.
And the crown pivotal point today focuses on Donald Lambert from St. Gilles, Quebec. Has a disappointing finish in the springboard chop, taking a DQ with a huge slab off his block.
Well, here at the Ontario Lumberjack Championships, after 1/3 of the competition, we got a great leaderboard. We got Quebec, New York, New Brunswick, but leading the way is hometown favorite, Cecil Starr.
And the gas guzzler Lumberjack of the day goes to none other than Cecil Starr. Cecil pulled the whole show together here in Brechin, whipped out his axe throwing axe, and threw a 13 points to capture the Kris Starr Memorial.
Any lumberjack competition you go to in North America or around the world for that matter, they just don't happen without the terrific support of sponsors just like this. What a fantastic start to the Ontario Lumberjack Championships hosted by the community of Brechin. The leaderboard is still wide open because it's still early. The crowd's been fantastic. The weather's been good. A lot of enthusiasm here.
Unbelievable. And just as we suspected, the springboard chop was a real rat race right to the end. The women's bow saw, that was great, seeing Nancy come out on top in that. But hey, how about the emotional finish in the Kris Starr Memorial Axe Throw? Cecil Starr throwing a great throw. His parents are in the crowd. That was an unbelievable finish.
Come back again next time for more Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. K100, make water burn. Yamaha, conquer outdoors.
I'm a line mechanic for New York State Electric and Gas.
I am a technical solution specialist.
I'm a groundskeeper.
I'm a field service representative.
I'm a saw filer and saw maker.
I'm a cafeteria worker.
I work for Rio Tinto.
And I'm a parkskeeper for the city of Brampton.
I work in the bush as a bush supervisor.
I'm a shipping coordinator for Hendrick Manufacturing.
And I'm currently employed as a chemist.
And I'm a logger.
And I work for the city of Toronto.
And I'm a natural resource specialist.
And I'm a utility arborist.
And I work for Correction Service Canada.
And I'm a heavy equipment operator.
And I work at Buried Treasures Farm.
And I am a Zumba instructor.
And I'm an arborist.
You're coaching that team?
Yeah, I'm a coach too. Done.
Woo!